What is up, guys? Yellow Gamer here, and today I am bringing you guys episode 9 of my MLB 17 The Show Legends Fantasy Draft franchise. Here's a quick little look at the standings for us. Currently, I believe we're about, I think it says either 6 or about 8 games in first place there in front of the New York Yankees, and we're going to be going up against the Chicago Cubs, who are currently a game and a half out of the National League Central divisional #1 spot, obviously, and they're behind the Pittsburgh Pirates, so obviously they're going to come out here a bit ferocious, trying to get that #1 spot. They obviously need to go on a little bit of a streak here. We still have about 40 or 50 games left though, and with that in mind, I figure that it's about time that we start actually focusing on playoffs. That's why I believe this will probably be the last regular season game that I show you guys before playoffs actually get started. That's purely just due to the purpose that I don't know. I don't really want to overdo regular season games. I don't want to make it too much regular season. This is kind of the same idea I have with my other fantasy draft franchise, that sometimes if you play too many regular season games, it can get a bit monotonous and get a little bit less entertaining, I think, for you guys. And I think at the end of the day, as long as we have been playing good enough to earn a playoff spot, I think at the end of the day, you guys are more interested in watching the playoffs anyways. With that being the case, on the mound for us, we will have Jameson Tyen. On the mound for them, they will have, I believe it was Jeremy Hellickson. So here's a quick look at their lineup. They have a few quality guys. You see Jason Hayward, Kyle Seager, William McCovey. They got a few really good players there. They got Matt Wieters, who's actually not that bad. They got Justin Upton, Robinson Cano. I mean, they got some hitters for sure. Obviously, that's the thing when you do a Legends fantasy draft, is that it just increases the potential and just the overall talent of the league so much that there's going to be a lot more challenging opponents that are going to have to go up against. And William McCovey, obviously highlighting that lineup, probably being the most dominating legend that we've been actually forced to go up against to this point. You see right there, him standing next to King Griffey Jr. He's still towering over King Griffey Jr. He's a 6'3" center fielder, which means Willie McCovey's probably standing there about 6'5" or 6'6", which is a pretty big, pretty tall baseball player. Baseball players aren't typically that big. But obviously, he's one of the more dominant hitting baseball players of all time. So we're going to have to be pretty careful when we're pitching to him, especially Jameson Tyen not being the most talented pitcher. We got to be a little bit more aware of the the strike zones and things of that nature. And obviously, or something I want to mention also is that I have been raising the difficulty in all the different series I've been doing. So all my Road to the Shows, all my franchise modes have all had higher difficulty. So with that being the case, we have to work a little bit harder for each and every out that we're going for right now. Obviously, as you see here in the first inning, we're going to start off strong with Hayward, actually just striking out, looking there, and on a very similar pitch to the same area, Kyle Seager will swing and miss. And so we're going to try to do 3 in a row this time to Willie McCovey, but obviously he's not really looking to get struck out. So he's going to make some contact, but luckily he's going to go straight to our left fielder, which is, I believe, Ralph Kiner. And that is going to put us in a 1-2-3 inning. So there we go. Moving on to the second, though, we will not remain as successful as that first inning, as we're going to throw a pretty great slider there on the low outside corner. But Robinson Cano, it's almost like he was expecting it, read the pitch perfectly and drives that ball way out of that right field wall of Wrigley Field. Obviously, Robinson Cano is one of those players where if you give him a pitch to connect with, he will be successful and he will drive that ball way out of the ballpark. So it's something I have to be more aware of, and that's one of those things where sometimes with the higher difficulty, you'll throw one of those perfect pitches and you'll still be unsuccessful. You just never know what's going to happen. Just one of those situations, but I think it's more realistic that way, where sometimes even if you throw a perfect pitch, it just won't work out for you. So with that being the case right here, we're actually, this one's not the perfect pitch that I was looking for. We're going to throw a hanging curveball to probably the worst guy you could throw a hanging curveball to, and that'll be Willie McCovey, and he's going to drive that ball to a different stratosphere. I don't even believe that ball is even in Wrigley Field anymore. I'm pretty sure that hit the sidewalk. It probably hit the sidewalk about 4 blocks down, because he just absolutely cranked that ball. But moving on here a little bit, down at 3-0, we're moving on into the 8th inning. And right here, we're posing a situation where we possibly can get a couple of runs on the board and, give a possible opportunity to tie this ball game back up. It's now runners on first and second with no outs. Luis Aparicio is going to try to drill one over the shortstop's head, but Marcus Semien is going to make a phenomenal catch there at shortstop. And that is going to result in, obviously, us not getting any runs there. And that was, that catch by Semien probably saved a run to 2 runs. And then with Dante Pachep to bat, he's going to try to knock home a few runs. And he almost did with he almost did a home run there into left field there. But sadly, the left fielder will camp underneath that one and get the second out of the inning. And then Rod Cruz is going to be unsuccessful here with putting solid contact on the ball. So we're going to end the inning there without scoring any runs. Although we did get a few nice hits, it may have increased our momentum possibly for the next inning, where the next inning being the 9th inning will obviously have to be the inning where we start putting some things together. Because if we don't, we are going to be walking out of here with the L. So right here in the 8th inning, we're trying to prevent them from scoring any extra runs, as we're not trying to make things any more difficult for ourselves. But we don't remain 100% successful in that effort. You see right there, with them having a runner on second with 1 out, Robinson Cano, or is that might have been, yeah, I think that was Hayward. He's going to knock one out of the infield, and then Kyle Seager is going to follow him up, do the same exact thing. Now runners with first and second with 1 out. They just scored 1 run, and it's now down 4-0. And we are trying to get Willie McCovey to ground to double play here. And although we do get the ground ball we're looking for, it's going to bounce off Luis Aparicio's head. We're not going to try to play at home. We don't quite have enough arm strength from Aparicio to make that play. So we're instead going to throw it to third. And luckily, we are going to make Kyle Seager look like just an absolute dingus on the base pass. And we're going to throw him out to get our second out of the inning. And then Robinson Cano here is going to fly out to right field. And we are going to make that catch to get our third out of the inning. But luckily, those few hits that we got in the 8th inning did actually spark some offensive momentum from our team. You see right there, Ken Griffey Sr. is going to knock one right back up the middle to get a hit. And now, remaining with no outs, Ken Griffey Jr. is going to try to knock one out of the infield. And he's not quite successful in doing so, but luckily the second baseman will not knock that one down. And there's now runners on first and second with no outs. And Ralph Kiner says, you know what, I'm going to put you guys on the board. He's going to drill one way out of the ballpark to left center field. That one, about the same distance of McCovey's home run to left field earlier in the game. Just an absolute bomb. These Cubs fans, or everybody who's sitting here in Wrigley Field, has been treated to quite a show with some big home runs. And Pedro Alvarez, the very next batter for us, is thinking to himself, you know what, why end that show here? How about we give him one more big home run? He wants to follow Ralph Kiner big, and he's going to do just that by cranking a ball to dead away center field, way over the center field wall. Obviously, no fans can be able to reach that one. That flew all the way up into like the broadcasting center. We're about to knock out one of the cameras up there. We're trying to end this broadcast of the game. Obviously, we still have a few more runs that we need to go. Though, if we look to be successful in winning this game, we're still down 5-4. But with 4 straight hits, we clearly have the momentum on our side. You see Alex Bregman's going to try to continue that momentum right here, and he will do just that, knocking a single into shallow right field. Could have possibly been a play for Hayward out there, but he doesn't decide to try to make that diving catch. And then with Ben Revere up to bat, he's going to continue that streak by knocking a ball to straightaway center field. And there will now be runners on first and second, still with no outs. Luis Aparicio is going to come to bat, though, and I do not feel like taking the risk of a double play, which could possibly ruin all the momentum of this inning. So we're instead going to bunt the ball and then pinch it for our pitcher. And with Mariano Padilla up to bat, he's going to knock one back up the middle. We have a chance for Ben Revere to score from second base here, and they're going to make a throw home, but Ben Revere is way too fast. He's going to outrun that throw without even having to dive. And that is going to put us up 6-5 with just 1 out. And we are not done yet. Rod Cruz is going to drill one to center, or left center field gap. He wanted to be a part of this hit parade, and obviously he's going to join it right there, as it's now runners on second and third, with Ken Griffey Sr. having a chance to get his second hit of the inning. But they're going to avoid pitching to him, which is a very weird decision because Ken Griffey Jr. is up next in the batting lineup. And now with that intentional walk, it's the bases loaded with the man of the hour, Ken Griffey Jr. coming up to bat, trying to knock home a few more RBIs. And he's going to drill the ball to straightaway center field. This could be leaving the ballpark, but the center fielder will instead camp underneath that one. Not quite enough power on it, but it will be enough to score home Mariano Padilla from third base, which will put us up 7-5. And with Ralph Kiner coming up to bat, looking for his second 3-run home run of the inning, he will be unsuccessful in that effort, striking out there on the drop third strike, then getting thrown out at first. So it's now going to be 7-5 with no outs. But luckily, we have a pretty star reliever, and his name is Andrew Miller. And he's going to get 1 out, and he's going to get 2 outs here on a fly ball right field. And he's looking to get that third out of the game to hopefully just end it right here. And he will be successful. As right there on the low slider, we are going to walk out of here with a 7-5 victory. And this basically highlights how this season has gone for us. We've just made some absolutely unbelievable comebacks, some crazy games, some crazy finishes. Truthfully, I don't know how we're doing some of the things we've been doing, but in the next episode, we'll be playing the first game of playoffs. So I surely hope you guys are looking forward to that. So with that being the case, I really hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please click that like button below. Make sure to comment your opinion of the series and what I could do to make it more interesting in the comment section below. And lastly, subscribe if you have not already to stay tuned to this series and other series I got going on my channel. Thank you guys so much for all the support you've been showing on the series. I really do appreciate it, and I can't wait to see you guys in the next one. Peace out.